Hey y'all, hey, we are back for another review of Ruthless. We are on season 4, episode 8. I didn't get around to episode 7. Y'all know how that go. We're just gonna jump right into it. We're gonna pretend nothing happened, and I think we're gonna be able to catch up. Anyway, we are on season 4, episode 8, entitled I for an I. We know that Zane brought Lacey water a couple episodes ago. Now Elder Mother has noticed the cup is left behind. Let's just go back for season 7, because this is something important that I didn't get to that video. Anyway, in episode 6, Ruth goes to grab her daughter so that they can escape now. And she goes to the children's trailer, and it ain't no kids in sight. It ain't a child in sight. So they have relocated these kids in the dead of night, and no one knows where they are located. So now Ruth has to come up with a plan, to get to her daughter so that they can finish executing their plan, because now the money is on the premises, but there's no child. And she needs, not only does she needs to get, why is this shirt like that? Not only does she need to get her child, she needs to get Tally's daughter as well, even though it's been revealed that Tally escaped, but she ended up committing suicide. I don't know if you can say this stuff on YouTube, so I don't want to get flagged. But anyway, she, commits that act, and she thinks that's what she wants to do in honor of Tally. Cool. Moving right along. So we know that Zane brought Lacey water last episode. Now Elder Mother has noticed the cup that she left behind. Lacey's trying to convince her, like, maybe you forgot you brought it. She's trying not to get Zane in trouble or whatever. And Elder Mother is not buying it, and she tells her, like, listen, you're gonna learn. You're gonna learn. You're gonna learn. Lacey ain't learning nothing. Lacey at this point is probably just gonna play the game long enough to remain alive so that her and Zane can escape. Last episode, I thought she was going to take the pills, maybe overdose herself just to be out of pain. But Elder Mother said, hey, what I'm going to do is I'm going to beg the Heist for your life again so that I can allow every man in here that he has enlightened. And we know that enlightened means penetrated. Every man in here that he is enlightened to enlighten you every day until you bear 7 children that you can devote to the Raku. And if that is not some cruel and unusual punishment, I do not know what is. And if it were me, I would just go ahead and take me up out the game, because no ma'am, I'm not gonna be able to do it. No ma'am, I'm not doing that. It's just not in my wheelhouse. But that's the plan that Elder Mother has for Lacey. So we'll see how it goes. The FBI folk, they've called Matt down from DC for the Andrew situation, and they're not sure if Andrew is with them or he's very, very, very deep undercover. We're not sure because he hasn't checked in weeks, so we don't know where he stands in this Raku situation. And it appears as if they're left with more questions than answers, actually, because they thought they were coming in to just clean up a little bit of mess that's going on, but it's deeper than what they thought when they initially got there. Someone comes up to them, another officer comes and tells them that, hey, there was a fire at Brian's house and 2 bodies have been found. So that means, that Andrew has been able to, put his plan into motion, but we'll see if they're gonna buy it at this point. All right. Ruth is impatient because Elder Mother needs to come cook the special meal for Laura, I think that's her name, the new girl, because in order to keep her under the influence, she needs to consume the drug or whatever it is every 3 hours, I guess, to get her mind to stay dazed as it has been thus far. Now she's got to go leave and find her on her own, which leaves the door open for Laura's husband to come in and try to talk to her, of course. All right. Meanwhile, Malcolm is tied up in the electric chair, and he is detoxing like hell. He is sweating, he is begging and pleading, and the Heist is dangling some drugs in his face. And the Heist is going to give him some, but it's really only to test it out to see if it's good enough for him to take, for the Heist to take himself, using him as a guinea pig especially. Then he changes his mind. He wants the women to come in and give him a bath first, because I guess he stinks so bad from having had sat in his own juices and berries for however long he's been sitting here, and the Heist is he's just outdone. He can't take it. Mind you, you live in trailers, you live in containers and on buses and shipping crates, but you got the nerve to turn up your nose at somebody not smelling the best. Whatever. I mean, but you're also driving a Rolls Royce, so priorities, I suppose. Anyway, so he leaves, but I guess basically to torture him a little bit more before he gives him the drugs. All right. Then he goes to discipline the other guardsmen. Can't quite remember. Daikon got in trouble for something, and whoever this guardsman is, one of the the foot soldiers that works the front gate stood up and took the hit for Daikon to not get him in trouble. And the highest strips him down, and the highest says, turn around, whatever. And the highest begins to whip this man with a chain, a very thick link chain, right? Like a dog chain, or something you would tie like some heavy machinery down with, something to that effect. It begins to whip him with a heavy metal chain, and this man is taking it like a champ to prove his loyalty to the highest, which we find out is a facade at the end. But whipping this man like he did not make his predetermined pounds of cotton for that day. That is how bad he was whipping that man in that trailer, and he did not give him the satisfaction of crying, of begging, of wincing, of nothing. When I tell you stone faced, because baby, for me, with every hit, baby, I would just be toe down and unconsolable. No, sir, you're not gonna do it. I don't have that type of strength. Either way, then he starts questioning the guardsman to see if who's loyal. He tells him, like, I'm sold out to the Raku. Some people aren't as excited as I am to be here. Blah blah blah. Whoop de whoop. And as soon as the highest leaves, he breaks character and calls him a crazy motherfucker. Like, this dude is crazy as hell. So he did what he had to do to get through the situation. But again, not taking no lashes. Take me out of here. I'm not taking no lashes from no damn chain. You crazy as hell. Take me out of here. I ain't sold out to nobody. Either way, that he gets to live to fight another day, and I guess that's the goal. River and Daikon, they're in there counting the money because the highest says, let him help you, blah blah blah, and Daikon is almost snitched on himself and River under the guise of him hating River so much. And the house is like, we started over new when we was at the, chopping block. I told you to tell me everything that you did tell me. So are you saying you got something else to tell me? He's like, no. I'm just saying, I don't trust the little motherfucker. That's all. No, you got something to tell him, but you can't tell on him without telling on yourself. And that is what you call that's what you call a checkmate. That is what you call a gimme gotcha, because you want to tell on me so bad, but you cannot risk getting your own head chopped off for the sake of mine. So are you willing to go down with the Titanic, sir? No, you're not. So you're gonna have to chill for now. Now he has a method that's gonna, tie River up here by the end of the episode, but we'll get to it. All right. So he's not worried about River. River asks, like, why didn't you snitch? And he tells him, like, listen, your time is winding down, which he's already come up with a new plan. He thinks the highest is eyeing Aaron, which is Laura's husband, to replace you. Like, I see how he looks at him. You might be old, washed up, and he might not have a need for you. Hopefully we can get rid of you. Blah, 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 blah. And River asks Daikon if he enjoys being with the highest, and he said it is not. And he tells him, like, now Daikon, if I see a scene where Daikon is planning an escape, I would be flabbergasted. That is the only thing that would surprise me, because Daikon is so sold out to the Raku and the highest that he would kill his own mama to satisfy the highest. And that I am sure of. I'm sure of it. And so he tells River, like, hey, it's not about pleasure. It is only about pleasing the highest. That is my greatest gratification in life. And we also have to remember that Daikon was in prison with the highest. So he's been basically like one of the first followers, one of the most faithful followers. So, it ain't no convincing him of nothing other than what the highest has said to him. So that's where we're at. And so Daikon also threatens River. He said, the highest has told you if any of the money comes up missing, then that's your ass, Mr. Postman. So he dangles $100 bill. He's like, this is the price of your life. If this $100 bill goes missing and I tell the highest that you took it, I'm rid of you forever. So, excuse me. So not too much on the talking back, not too much with the lip. Just close your mouth. And so, that gets River to quiet down a little bit, because, sir, that Daikon is willing to do it. As much as he hates you, so you might want to chill. All right. Mac finally shows up, and he goes in through Brian's emails and tells him about Brian's wife's affair with Malcolm, and that Malcolm's last drug test came back positive, as well as Brian's wife. They were both on drugs. And he also tells them that Brian had emailed saying that he wanted to unalive them both because he knew that they were still sleeping together, but the but that they should wait on the fire marshal reports to to see what they come up with in their investigation. And then they asked about Andrew, and they're also under the impression that they in this scene the FBI people are still under the impression that the kids are still inside of the combine, and they are not. Nobody is aware that the kids are gone, other than of course the highest, whoever he had helped move the kids, and Ruth. Everybody else is still under the assumption that the kids are still there on the grounds, which is probably one of the reasons why they haven't stormed in there, to do what they need to do. But the kids are not there. Nobody knows where the kids are at this point. And then Mac tells them that there was a Rolls Royce that was also reported stolen, which of course that's the Rolls Royce that the highest is riding in, and that maybe like that might be their little crack in the system that's going to be able to get them, or at least get the highest to detain him and be able to talk to him and whatnot. So they're hoping they can, the next time he leaves the grounds, that they can find him, stop him, and search that car, because it may be the one that's stolen. So they're gonna start working backwards from where he went that day to see what he did throughout the day as well, to kind of start tracking him. So they're working some leads. And Max seems to be helpful, but if I'm not mistaken, Mac is on the sheriff's payroll, so he might be trying to call the sheriff and give him a heads up, and impede the investigation. But if he knows what's good for his own pension, he should not. He should just let it happen. Moving right along. So the heist goes back to Malcolm, and he notices, he's heating up the substance, getting it prepared in the needle, and Malcolm notices, like, hey, my guy, you're giving me a lot. You gonna give me all that? He's like, I am. Now, do you want it or not? And he's so addicted. He knows that it's too much, but he wants it. He can't say no. Like, and Heist is dangling it right in his face, like, hey, yay or nay, this your last opportunity. He's like, all right, go ahead and do what you got to do. And then the drugs start to take effect immediately, and so he's not really passed out, I guess, feeling the effects of the drug. And so the heist is like, yeah, if you make it out of this, if you can take this amount, then I know it's good for me. If you can deal with this high dose, then I know it's good enough for me. But my question is, what if you can't? What happens if he can't? He can't take the amount that you gave him. Then he's just overdosed. I guess he'd just be dead like everybody else that you've tossed out, that have deserted, or that you have killed, or that have died on the compound. So it really wouldn't be no skin off your back, because he's a cop. So who really cares, right? All right. George is the guard. The guard that took the lashings on the back, his name is George. He is talking to another guard. Now, the other guard that he's talking to, I don't know his name, but he has talked to Manny. He talked to Manny before, and Manny, George, and other dude, they had a plan of escape. But Manny had been cut out of the situation, because Manny is now sold out to the Rakadushi beliefs, because he feels as if the Raku has punished him for R-wording, taking advantage of Zan, and he needs to rectify it by way of marrying her to make things whole, because he's being punished. And so he tells him, like, George tells him, I was able to trick the heist, but my back is really killing me, as it should, because he was hitting you for a long time, and that alone would make me want to smother him in his sleep. But yeah. And they know that they've lost Manny, so they got to come up with another plan for trying to get up out of there. They talk about the money, so a lot of people know about this money and it being on the compound and how much it is. It seems like there's little groups, little subsets of people that are willing to leave, but the little subsets aren't communicating with other subsets because nobody knows who to trust, which is fair, because there are people that have been planted to get information and take it back. So you don't know who to trust, so you just have to trust your little small group of escapees. Got it, cool. But there's also strength in numbers, so don't ask me, I don't know how to weed out the snitches and who's really trying to escape without you getting decapitated. But I don't know. I don't have an answer for that. I just noticed that there, there's little different subsets of people, at least three that I can think of that want out, but they got to figure out how to execute their plans. Anyway, these two are talking about the money that the highest and Joan brought back today, and now they got to get a plan to get that money. They got guns and they got cars, which definitely puts them at an advantage over Ruth's group. But they still need a whole team of people. They need two people at the front gate to, run interference and shoot at people. They need two people to go in and overtake the heist and get the money. They need a team of people, and it's only those two people at this point. And they figure they might need to get River in on the plan to have sex with the heist and tie him up and, kind of get his guard down, because his guard is not going to be down with anyone else. But again, they don't know River's motives, so they think that River is up the heist's ass because he's in there every night. Not that he's being taken advantage of. They just think they butt buddies and they just having a gay old time. Oh, no pun intended. Thinks that they're having a grand old time, playing dominoes or checkers, when that is definitely not the case. But they don't know the true extent of the Hyas's and River's relationship. They just see him go into his trailer every night. Which, from the outside looking in, I can see like, oh, you're here in there every night. He's his right hand man, other than Daikon. I don't want no parts. And so, they're thinking, okay, maybe Manny, because Manny is low key obsessed with Zane and wanting to be enlightened so that he'll get the blessing to marry her. And so, yeah, maybe that's the help that they need, but we don't know. We don't know if that's a risk they're gonna be willing to take at this point. All right, moving right along. Manny asks River about being enlightened. Like, what does it take to be enlightened? He's getting different answers, and he wants somebody to give him the truth. And River asks him, like, why you want to know so bad? What do you want to know? And he was like, just so I can get a wife. And he's like, what wife? He was like, so I can marry Zane. River just flat out tells him, like, listen, leave that girl alone, and I'm gonna go ahead and break it to you simple. If you used to getting penetrated up the rectum, then yes, you can be enlightened, because that is all it is. And he's like, oh, so what they were saying is true. And he was like, yeah, so you want me enlightened? Do you want the light? Do you want the light to shine? Is that what you want for your life? And so he's like, oh, okay. So Manny is low-key obsessed with Zane. Like, he's kind of considering it, but not. He's on the fence. Now he know what it is, but he still is inundated with the fact that he wants to marry Zane. He wants to make it right. He wants to do all these things. And River tells him, like, listen, you need to leave her alone. And River threatens to tell the highest, and Manny has his own threats that he can get. So River threatens to tell the highest that he took advantage of Zane, and Manny threatens to tell the highest that River told him exactly what it means to be enlightened. So they're at an impasse as it relates to that, and now they both have to agree to just shut the hell up and just go on about their business, because they both have talked too much about what's going on. All right, Zane tells River that she saw Lacey, and she's excited about Lacey. Excited about the fact that she's not dead, and they just need to keep her alive. But Zane also wants to do everything in her power to keep her alive, because she wants to add Lacey to their escape plan, which River's not really sure about, because Lacey is a little bit unhinged. She's injured, so she's not going to be able to run and keep up like everybody else. And he also tells her, like, the plan is still on, but River's afraid that Lacey's going to go rogue again. And for me, we put too much time into this plan to let you or Lacey bring us down, because you are on the edge of a breakdown every 5 minutes, and so is Lacey. So y'all just need to stick to y'all plan, but you're no longer a part of our plan, which means I would have to set Zane up to get punished so that we can execute the rest of our plan free of her. Like, I feel like y'all gotta sacrifice one for the greater good of all, because I don't feel like Zane's gonna let y'all escape without Lacey. Like, I feel like if y'all get the money and y'all get the baby and y'all get ready to go, she's gonna be like, well, if y'all get ready to leave, I'm screaming, I'm snitching, whatever it is, she's gonna try to delay the escape, because she don't want to leave Lacey behind. And that's gonna prove to be problematic. And y'all gonna have to snap her goddamn neck so y'all can get going. So y'all might just have to phase Zane out of it and let her still believe she's still in it. You heard it here first. Anyway, moving right along. Ruth finally finds Elder Mother and, tries to make her prepare the meal for Laura, but the Elder Mother wants to talk to the highest when he comes out of the punishment trailer. And so Ruth tells her, like, I'm going to wait right here with you, because Ruth thought she was going to tell on her. And so the heist comes out and he's like, well, what do y'all want? What do y'all want? And Ruth reminds the heist, like, hey, Laura needs her medicine every 3 hours, or her medicine / drugs every 3 hours, and she needs to do it. And Elder Mother's like, I got a timer going, whatever. So Ruth, she finally is able to get Ruth to walk away. And the elder tells the heist that Lacey survived. And he's like, okay, cool, I'll go kill her. She's like, no. Like, basically, she begs him for Lacey's life, tells him about the plan that she has for Lacey to, have the babies or whatever. And he gives her to Elder Mother, but he says, listen, you have asked for her before, and she has escaped, and she has proved to be a problem. If she gets out of line this time, I'm going to give her my sword, and I'm going to let her kill you. So I hope it was worth it. And so now you have to make sure for a fact that Lacey cannot try to escape or do anything else, which is also going to prove to be more problematic for Zane and the plan she wants to put in place with Lacey, because now all eyes are going to be on Lacey, and Elder Mother's going to keep her tied to a post like a dog, like a yard dog. So it's going to be hard. It's going to be tough. All right. Erin goes in to see Laura. She is dazed out of her mind, and she is so dazed, she's calling him the highest. She looking through him, and she don't want no parts of it. He's trying to leave, but she's sold out to the Raku, and then Highest walks in, and that is how they end the episode. So we'll see what, I don't know. I feel like the Highest is giving Erin quite a few chances, which makes me kind of believe what Daikon says about, the Highest kind of having a thing for Erin. But I felt as if he wanted Erin for assets. Like, we know he comes from a wealthy family, to maybe kind of extort money out of his family, that whole thing. But he also gave him a chance when he had that cell phone, so he may be trying to train him up to be the new River, or in addition to River. We'll see how it goes, but I doubt that he'll kill him. He may either put him out, or I don't know, kill him. I don't know. I don't think he's gonna kill him. I think he might put him back outside the gate and tell him, like, you gotta go, or maybe extort his family for money. Who knows? We'll see what happens. Either way, tell me what you think about the episode, season 6, episode 2, Ruthless. Tell me what you think in the comments. Like, comment, share, subscribe, or whatever it is that you feel like doing. And I'll see you in the next one. Peace.